Hello, thank you for tuning in to Pass Me a Plate. I'm Chef Michael Hackett, owner and proprietor of Chef's Table out of Erie, Pennsylvania by Michael Hackett. Today we're going to be preparing 3 dishes for you. Our first dish is the appetizer. It's going to be our shrimp ceviche. And then we're going to move forward with our entree, which will be our blackened salmon with a citrus slaw and roasted asparagus, and also our sweet potato hash. And then we're going to end our beautiful time today with a strawberry cream filled crepe. Are you ready? Let's get started. All right, we're going to jump everything off with our shrimp ceviche. We have 4 ingredients: some green bell pepper, yellow bell pepper, red bell pepper, some white onion, cilantro, lime juice, and we're going to top it off with some avocado slices. All right, first off, we're going to poach our shrimp, and we got some small shrimp, raw, detailed and deveined. We're just going to poach them real quick for about 2-3 minutes just to get a light cook on them. Throw them in a ice bath because we don't want to cook them all the way through. Typically shrimp ceviche is usually, like a poach. So we'll get going. And we're just going to drop our shrimp right into our water. In this water we have a little bit of salt and some lime juice, just to help the poaching process a little bit. And now we have some green bell pepper, some yellow bell pepper, red bell pepper, some white onion, and then we're going to take some of our chiffonade cilantro, a little bit of salt, a little bit of pepper. And if you want, what I like to do, I like to add some adobo just for that extra kick. We'll take some of my lime juice, squeeze that around in there. You can be generous as you like. And then we're going to take a spoon and give her a quick mix. Quick toss. It's a light appetizer. It's very fun, very easy to make, very tasty. All right, now our shrimp, they're about done. You want them like opaque. You don't want them hard, a hard boil on them. Give them a couple more seconds, and then we'll transfer them from our poaching water to our ice bath. Turn off our fire, let that drain. We got a good color on them. Take our spoon, get some of that cold water around on them. Let that chill for a quick second. And we'll be right back. All right, we're back. We let the shrimp chill for about 2 to 3 minutes in your ice bath to bring it down completely. We don't want no warm shrimp in a cold dish. All right, so now we're going to grab the shrimp, shake off the little excess water, and then we're going to chop it up. Not fine, but a nice bite-sized pieces, so that you can enjoy the shrimp and you don't feel like you're eating mesh. So my process is I usually just do a rough chop one way, next way, and just keep going back and forth. Nothing too crazy. A couple of people I actually made this for, a couple of families, they loved it. They still rave about it and ask me to come through and make the shrimp ceviche, the famous Chef Mike's ceviche. So now what I'm doing is I'm mixing mixing the shrimp and our bell pepper, white onion, and cilantro and lime juice with a little bit of salt and pepper in our bowl. Once we get that completely soaked or submerged into each other, we'll let that sit. I like to add a little bit more lime just at the end of the process, just so that, you know, that lime taste really comes across. And I love that citrus. And yeah, now once you get it to your satisfactory, you know, to your level of satisfaction as far as mixing it, then we can move on to our plating process. It's real simple. Gonna take a nice good spoonful of our shrimp ceviche. Yep, we had a little guy get away there. Now I've seen this dish served in a bowl or on plates. I like to do a little bit of both, just depends. If I'm making it for friends and family, you know, I like to spruce it up, maybe throw it in a nice bowl and have it like a shared dish instead of, you know, just a targeted one person appetizer. All right, and now what I'm doing is I'm taking our avocado that I've already peeled and sliced up and throwing it on our plate for a little bit of plating, decoration. And as you see, we got, you know, a nice bright plate with the bell peppers, the onions, and the cilantro. So we're gonna take some of our cilantro that we chopped up and throw it over on top. And then we're gonna take our cilantro, take like 1 or 2 cilantro leaves, and then we can throw it on top as well, just to add to the presentation. And there you go. This is our shrimp ceviche, and we'll be right back. All right, so we're back. Now we're going to do our entree. For our entree today, we have blackened salmon, which we're going to blacken here in a second. We're going to do some roasted asparagus, and we're going to do my specialty, which is a sweet potato hash. We're going to have in that hash some of our green pepper, yellow bell pepper, and red bell pepper with some white onions, and then we're going to season it with, you know, your basic seasoning: salt, pepper, a little bit of adobo, garlic powder, and onion powder. All right, so let's get right to it. So first off, we're going to start with our onion powder. Throw a little bit of our onion powder on our salmon. We're going to season both sides generously because you want that flavor to come through. And this is a fresh farm raised salmon, no HMOs and all that added stuff that you tend to get when you buy, you know, from some suppliers. And this is our garlic powder that we're adding, just throwing it on top. Now we're going to go with our blackened seasoning. You can be as generous as you want, but do understand that with your blackened seasoning, depending on how much you use, it can be overpowering, you know, get a little bitter from the salt that's in it. So I like to, that's why I add, you know, a couple of other seasonings to the fish or to our protein, just to kind of balance it out so it ain't so rough on your palate. Because we want our food to be good and beautiful and tasteful. You know, a lot of people say that you eat with your eyes before you eat with your mouth, and that's true. And another thing that you run into when dealing with blackened seasoning is people over season it too much to where you get like that super dark, almost burnt look. Granted, it's blackened. Yes, you want it black, but what I like to do, I like to get it to an even tone. Don't overdo it. Don't overdo it. A lot of people, a lot of restaurants overdo it when they're cooking blackened, and there's no need. You can go subtle and still achieve the effect that you want. All right. And now what we're going to do, we're going to change our gloves, and then we're going to move on. We're going to let that seasoning sit and marinate onto our salmon. While that's doing its thing, we're going to take our diced sweet potato and our diced green, red, and yellow and white onion mixture, and we're going to transfer it over to our pan over here that we have going. We got it nice and hot. We're going to throw our mixture in there, let that go for a second. You can always throw a little pinch of salt in there, because you know your sweet potatoes are sweet, so you don't want to overpower it. But since we're doing the hash, we're going to take some of our onion powder, and in that pan we have some grapeseed oil. It's a good substitute for, you know, butter or regular olive oil. Just depends on how health conscious you like to be. Grapeseed oil still gives you that fat content that you're looking for from olive oil or what have you. And yeah, it tastes good. It does its thing, as people should say. So now, before we take a quick pause for the cause, we're going to go ahead and turn up our pan for our blackened salmon, and we'll be right back. All right, and we're back. Now we're going to blacken or finish off our salmon and get started on our asparagus. And then we're going to throw it all together with a white truffle citrus slaw that I have here for you guys. So the blackened salmon, we had our pan nice and hot with our grapeseed oil, always top side down first. And you hear that? That's the noise where you know that you're on the right path with your blackening skills with your pan. Now I like using a cast iron because you get a better hard sear on anything that you want to do. Your steaks, your burgers, your any seafood, fish. It's always a good go-to. And now we're gonna finish off our sweet potato or yam hash. We're gonna add in, now that we let it cook and brown, we're gonna throw in our green pepper, red pepper, and yellow pepper and white onion. We already seasoned it, but if you want to go again, it's always cool, no problem. And then you just want to let all that marry up. What I like to do is take some lime juice and just add it to a little bit, just to help deglaze that pan a little bit, to get some of that extra seasoning from the bottom and to help the cooking process with the sweet potatoes and the peppers. Okay, now it's time to flip our salmon to the finishing side. Yeah. You see that? That's what you like. That's what I like right there. Nice, light, and graceful. You know, you don't want it, like I said, you don't want that burnt look, that overcooked look. That's not good. That's not a good look. And we're just gonna give that an extra stir. You know what? I'm gonna add a little bit more adobo here for you. Just a little bit to help extract some of that starch out of there. And while these two are cooking and going, we're gonna take our asparagus, a little bit of salt, a little bit of pepper, and we already preheated our oven to 400, and we're going to use some of our oil, and then we're just going to hand toss our asparagus, and then we're going to oven roast them quick and easy. Going to throw it onto our pan. Here you go, just flatten them out. You don't want them all bunched up together. And then a little bit more salt, a little garlic powder, a little onion. And then we throw it in our oven. Gonna let that cook for about 6 minutes, and we're gonna pull it out, and then we'll add that to our plate. Now we move on to our salmon. We're gonna double check it, make sure it's feeling right. Our hash is looking right. Now, one thing with your proteins, salmon, any beef products, pork products, when you're cooking it, it's always good to pull it from the heat and allow it to rest before you serve or plate, okay? We're gonna let this go a little bit longer, and we'll be right back to finish everything up. All right, and we're back. All right, now back to what I was saying. We're gonna pull our salmon out. Gonna pull it out and let it rest on a cool surface. Look at the bottom of that. It's not burnt. You still got great coloring. You know what you're eating. You're not speculating if they burnt your food or did you order it blackened. You know what you did. All right, so now while that's resting, like I said, we still have our asparagus in the oven. Looks like that's ready, so we're gonna go ahead and pull that out. We'll pull that out. Let that sit right here for a second. Our hash, our sweet potato hash is already done and cooling. And now we're gonna move on to our citrus slaw. Now this is my world famous citrus slaw. A friend of mine, a chef friend of mine, done it. We did it for a private party and it was awesome. The people loved it. So I amped it up a little bit, revamped it a little bit to make it my own. I encourage you to do the same. Starting off, we're going to start off with, we have our Napa cabbage. We have some lemon and lime sections, some pink grapefruit sections, regular orange sections, and some blood orange sections. Yes, I know with the lemon and the lime and the grapefruit, you got your bitters from the citrus, but with the orange and the blood orange, the blood orange is really going to bring you that super sweetness. And also we're going to throw in some sugar just to help balance it out. Some honey. That's what we have here, some honey. We have some of our juices extracted from when we were sectioning off our lemons, limes, grapefruit, and blood orange. We have some julienne, yellow, and red bell pepper. We have our white truffle oil. We have our salt and onion and garlic powder. Simple and easy, all right? And we have some fresh mint. All right, so now we're gonna jump right into it. It's real simple and easy. You don't have to overcomplicate things. Take roughly about a cup and a half of Napa cabbage. You wanna make sure that you do even amounts of your bitters, citrus, and kind of do a little bit more of your sweet. So we did 4 sections of your pink grapefruit. We'll probably do like 3 of your lime, and that's about 3 or 4 of your lemon. And then with your blood orange, look at that, that is so beautiful. Just gonna dump that all in there. And now here comes the tricky part. Now we're gonna do, this is about 2 tablespoons, depending on how sweet you want it. Remember, we're gonna throw this on top of our blackened salmon. So it's gonna help calm down all that saltiness and bitterness from the blackened seasoning. So we'll do roughly about 1.5 tablespoons. Just let that drizzle and drip off for you. And you want to just make sure you spread it around sparingly. Don't worry about it being stuck in one place because it's honey, Your citrus juices, which is your juice from your orange, your grapefruit. We're gonna do like a tablespoon of the juices. Then we're gonna take roughly about 1 tablespoon of julienne pepper, your bell peppers, yellow and red. Then we're gonna take, now the thing with your white truffle oil, okay, I want you to realize it's very strong. If you like truffle oil, use it at your discretion. I like it, but I don't like using a lot of it. I always want the flavors to marry into each other. So for me, my recommendation would be roughly about 1 tablespoon, maybe a teaspoon. A little will do you, and that might be even a little bit too much, but we'll taste it before we plate it all up. We'll throw our onion powder. I know you're like, wow, he loves that onion powder and garlic powder. Yes, I do. I like my food to be flavorful and full of love. That's where the love comes from. A little salt, pinch of salt, little pepper, little black pepper, and then we're just gonna marry it. Now with these sections, you can use a spoon, but you don't want to toss it too much and break it up. You don't want to break them sections up. You want to try to leave your sections whole as possible. Oh man, I wish you were here to smell this. Honestly, that smells awesome. Super awesome. Smells so good. How Mr. Food used to say, ooh, it's so good. Yeah, that's a throwback from my childhood. We used to watch them on our local TV station. Shout out to all my family in Buffalo, New York. Salute, shout out to all my people in Erie, Pennsylvania. We love you. Thank you for all of you guys' support. All right, now that we got all this folded in, all your flavors, we're gonna let that sit, and we'll be right back to plate and put everything together. All right, we're back. Now we're gonna plate this thing, okay? You ready? This is gonna be an adventure for you. We're gonna set it up to where you know how to plate something nice and elegant, but still be appealing to the eye and not look like you don't wanna break it. All right, so now we're gonna take a ring mold. Center of the plate, we're gonna take our sweet potato hash, and we just gonna spoon it right into that ring mold. That sets a boundary and sets a area for that. All right, look at that. Got all them colors coming. It's giving, as they say. It's giving. And what it is giving is a party to your taste buds, I promise you. And any strays that fall out or jump to the side, that's fine. There's no need to worry. And we're just gonna give it a little press so it can hold its shape. Remove it, boom. Anything, you know, if you have something that falls off to the side, that's fine. It just adds to the presentation. All right, so next, you might think it's the salmon. No, it's going to be our roasted asparagus, okay? Now, what I like to do, depending on, you know, the setting, like 2 or 3 pieces of, and it depends on the size of your asparagus. Lately, as of lately, they've been coming out real skinny. I was lucky enough to find some nice, decent size asparagus. Okay, and fellas, man, pay attention. If you want to impress the lady on a date night, want to save some money, literally, this can be a dinner for 2 people, depending on the appetites. With everything included, you can literally spend $40 in home and feed 2 people. And look at this, look at that. Look at that, look. I'm trying to tell you, your boy gonna get you right. All right, so now we're gonna move on to our salmon. What are you gonna do with the salmon? Now we're gonna take our blackened salmon and put it at an angle. Look at that, nice and tight like a tuxedo. You know what I'm saying? Then we're gonna take our citrus slaw, you know what I'm saying? And we're gonna throw it right on top of him. Oh yeah, look at that. Look at that. You know, if some fall off to the side, that's fine. What I like to do is try to get some of all of the citrus portions onto the plate, you know, to add that color and that pizzazz to it. A little yellow. And I love blood oranges. I love the sweetness of it. It's a great compliment to any dish if you know what you're doing with it. And then sometimes, you know, with that nice little mixture of truffle oil and the citrus juice, just throw it all over, throw a little bit on top, just like that. Dab on your plate a little bit. Not the dab like the kids do. A little dab-a-do-ya. I'm a perfectionist when it comes to plating. I like to have a nice, clean, crisp plate from all the years of cooking. And here you go. This is our blackened salmon with a citrus slaw with your sweet potato hash and asparagus, roasted asparagus. We'll be right back. All right, we're back. Now we're on to our strawberry cream-filled crepe. All right. First off, with your crepe mixture, you want to use any pancake mix that you like to use or whatever you have on hand at home. You water it down a little bit. You want your consistency not real thick. You want it a little bit looser than your regular pancake mix. Okay. And then once you get that mix, you want to let it sit for a little bit. And then now for our cream part, we're gonna take about 2 cups of heavy cream, whipping cream, pour it into our mixer. Okay. I like to make sure, as an old chef used to tell me, make sure you get everything out of there. We paid for it. We gonna use every last drop. He was a crazy man, crazy man. All right, we got our heavy cream in there. And now we're just gonna get it started a little bit. Whipping on high. Get that going. Add a little sugar for sweetness. And once your heavy cream starts peaking, then you can start adding whatever flavor profile you want to it. And this will take about 3 to 4 minutes to whip up. So we'll be right back. All right, we're back. Now that our heavy whipping cream is already reaching its peak, we're going to add our flavor profile to it, which is our strawberries. Now I finely chopped up some strawberries through a generous portion of sugar to help extract some of that liquid from the strawberries. And we're just going to slowly add about 2 tablespoons worth of strawberries. Now, if you like a real strong strawberry presence, you can add 3 or more. We're just gonna dump the rest of that in there and let it do his thing. Okay? Now, once that's all mixed in real good, we'll let that mix in. And when we come back, we'll start on the crepe while this is mixing and resting. We'll be back. And we're back. All right, now on to our crepe. We got a couple of pads of butter. We're gonna throw it into our medium warmed up pan. Let that butter melt down. Okay, just like so. Then we're gonna take our pancake / crepe mixture. Give it another quick mix. There we go. Get that butter moving around. All right, just like so. You don't want your fire too high because you don't want to burn it. All right, now we got the butter gone, melted. Oh yeah, look at that. Perfect. Perfecto. A vision of perfection. So we're gonna let that cook up. While that's cooking, what you want to look for is bubbles. Air bubbles popping up all over the place and browning on the edges. Okay, we'll cook this up and be right back. All right, so now we flip that over. We got a nice golden brown color tint to it. And now we're gonna wait for this second half to finish browning up. And then we want to, once we pull it off of the fire, we want to let it rest so it can cool. And then from there, we'll put it together. And the reason why you want to let it cool, because you're putting a cold item on top of it. So you don't want that cream to melt. You want it to hold its texture so you can enjoy your cream-filled crepe. All right, and just go around your edges and just make sure that it's done. I like to give it a nice little pat down, make sure it's flat and rollable. All right, and we're gonna grab a plate real quick, and we're gonna scoop him out. Turn your fire off. Let him sit on your plate for a second and cool. We'll be right back. All right, we're back. We're gonna finish off this strawberry cream crepe for you lovely people. All right, we're gonna take our crepe, put it face down, whichever side you like, and we're gonna take a nice healthy spoonful of our strawberry cream, heavy whipped cream mix, and just, you know, spread it about into a nice little pattern. Filling it is to your discretion. Then once you get it filled, we're gonna roll, always seam side down, so your crepe does not open up on itself, and it holds its form. And this is our second one. It's a little bit smaller, but it's okay. Just like so. Arrange them on your plate. And then we're gonna take our strawberry. What I did was slice up some strawberries, threw some sugar on it, let it sit right there for a second, and let it draw some of that liquid out of it for you. And, you know, just like so. Throw it on top. Get some of that syrup on there for you. If people like the strawberries, or if you like strawberries, you can be as generous as you want. Then once you're done with that, it's time for your topping, your whipped cream topping. This is my favorite thing to do. It's called cornelling. Just shape your whipped cream to a nice little football pattern. Look at that. Look at that. Look at that. Look at that. And since we got two of them, we're gonna do 2 cornels of this strawberry whipped cream. There you go. Take a nice little sprig of your mint, fresh mint. I like to make sure all my leaves is open, and give it a nice little rub so you can get some of that aroma out of there to waken that thing up for you. Stick him on top. Then last but not least, take our fanned out strawberries. One on one end. The other one on the other end. Look at that, that thing's looking beautiful. Do a rough chiffonade on your mint to garnish. There you go. Strawberry filled cream crepe. We'll be right back. right, welcome back. Thank you for tuning in to Pass Me a Plate. Once again, going over what we did. We did a shrimp ceviche, and we did a blackened salmon with a sweet potato hash and roasted asparagus, topped with a citrus slaw, a citrus truffle oil slaw. Wonderful. And then we have our strawberry cream filled crepe. Once again, I want to thank you for tuning in. If you want to look me up, you can look me up at Chef's Table by Michael Hackett on Facebook. That's my personal chef, personal catering services. You can book and ask any questions. Also, you can find me on Instagram at Thoroughbred716. Also, once again, I just want to thank you for tuning in. Thank you to all my supporters, and see you soon.